Greetings, brothers and sisters. Today's message is for the mothers. Happy Mother's Day to all of the mothers out here. I appreciate you. I love you all. And today's message is about the power of the mother and a Mother's Day speech, to all of us, right? And so a mother is the first expression of a martyr. And a martyr, of course, is someone who sacrificed their own self for a better cause and a possibility of death. And in many regards, they end up, it's the sacrificing, of a better cause. So it's quote unquote like the Christ conscious type of expression. A mother is the first expression of that in this world. When we talk about pregnancy and when we're talking about human relations, that act alone shows the actions of ultimate love to the baby and their self. Carrying someone inside of you isn't only a physical act, but also mental, emotional, and spiritually strengthening you. The mother is a child's first teacher. The mother is a child's first protector. So if the mother is the first act of a martyr of the Christ, we should say, and they're also the first expression of love, of ultimate love. They're also the first teacher to the child. They also are the first protector to the child because because the baby is inside of them. So they're protecting them physically, but they're also protecting them on the things that they eat, on the conversations that they have around the baby. Pregnancy itself is the first human metamorphosis that we go through from a thought of us just thinking about a baby, or even the first time of creation. If we take it for, as far as we can take it, it started off as a thought and then it manifested into reality. And so pregnancy in itself, a woman is the first manifestation of metamorphosis, the first expression of human metamorphosis, coming from a thought to a baby back to a parent, and the cycle continues. A mother already knows a child before the child even enters this world, just having that. Of course, I'm not a mother, but speaking to different mothers, speaking to different women, and me, myself, just being a child at a specific time of my life, or at a phase of my life, I remember just that depth or that deep connection that I have with my mom, and even to this day, so, and my mom having that supreme wisdom on all of the things that I do, because she knew me before the world even knew me. And we can even look at that in religious texts, in the biblical and Quranic texts, how it says that God is the all-seeing, all-knowing, the omnipresent. So that's an expression of your parent. That's the expression of what we would call our creator, our mother, or our father, So that act of knowing before you even come to existence is powerful. And then it also says in the Holy Quran that we are closer to man than his own jugular vein, So our moms was the closest things to us than our own self physically, because we came from our mom and we was in our mother. In the game of chess, one of the most highly mental level board games, the whole goal of chess is to protect the queen, is to protect the mother. And many business-minded people, business people in this world use chess as a way to create better ways, strategic ways to improve their business. And so just that board game alone, the whole sole purpose of it is to protect the woman. That shows you the importance and the level of respect that we have for our women, and the level of power that the women hold in this reality. It's also a famous hadith in Islam where it says that the Prophet Muhammad, may peace and blessings be upon him, he speaks that heaven lies at the feet of your mother. And so if heaven lies at the feet of your mother, just to take it a step further, what lies at the head of your mother, of a good mother, And so we do know that it's different forms of, or different levels of heaven and different levels of paradise in all books, in most books, Abrahamic books. So if the feet is one level of heaven, then the highest form of our reality comes from the head of the mother. And we know that a mother's wisdom and a woman's intuition is one of the greatest powers that we have on this earth. And so every prophet was assisted by a mother, or by a mother, or came from a mother. In order for you to be a prophet, you had to have came from a woman, you know, and that's just in all texts. Me being a twin, I was a sick twin. You know, I was one of the sick twins, or I was the sick twin. I'm not gonna say one of them, but I was the sick twin. And my mom, it was her wisdom. It was her dedication to get me back whole. The doctors were saying that I wasn't going to be able to play any sports, do anything. You know, I had bronchitis, I had jaundice, I had asthma, you know, those type of respiratory issues where they were saying that I couldn't do anything. But it was my mom's dedication, you know, picking up Queen Afua books and picking up different scholar books and different remedies that she already knew previous to picking up those books to coach me back to health, to nurse me back to health. And alhamdulillah, I was able to be a swimmer throughout my life. I was able to be a boxer throughout my life. I was able to be a tennis player throughout my life, play in a band, you know, do respiratory or do lung exercises. And that was by the grace of my mom's wisdom. So alhamdulillah for my mother. Some mothers go through the same post-traumatic stress that a person in the military that went to war go through, even after stress, or even after pregnancy. But the only difference is they don't have any benefits. You know, they don't get any benefits. They don't get those veteran badges of honor and things like that. But they went through the same trials and tribulations that someone in war went, but they went internally, which in some ways can be more intense. The power of a woman, if it wasn't for the woman's wisdom, Moses would have got killed. It was his mother who saved him. You know, if it wasn't for a mother or for a woman wisdom, the Prophet Muhammad, may peace and blessings be upon him, wouldn't have been confident to spread Islam. By the grace of Khadijah, may Allah be pleased with her. And she was actually the first Muslim. How about that? You know, to accept Islam. So we as Muslims, we as believers, to strive to be the best Muslim, we have to look at a woman in some regards as well too. You know, alhamdulillah for that. And so if it wasn't for a woman's wisdom, if it wasn't for a mother's wisdom, our greatest civil rights activists, Martin Luther King, Dr. King, Martin Luther King, Malcolm X, Marcus Garvey, you name it. If they had a woman, most times they did, it was due to them. Even Bob Marley, you know, it was due to them and their women, you know, ironing their clothes, making sure that food is done, making sure that the house is happy, making sure the kids is in a good headspace, you know, and not having to worry and stress the father out on, hey, dad, when I'm going to see you this time, the third. It was the woman's wisdom and the woman's, the woman's strength, you know, to continue to be that glue for that mission and for that vision and for that purpose of that leader, you know. So I definitely just want to give y'all happy Mother's Day. I appreciate the women out here. My greatest teachers were women. The greatest teachers and leaders of our world and history, if you were to look up history, came from a woman or was assisted by a woman. They were the ones who printed out the speeches, you know, and even to this day, still printing out speeches, still writing speeches for some of us, still critiquing some of our speeches, still bringing new forms of thought to us. You know, a lot of the things that I was exposed to in my life came from a woman, whether they directly taught it to me or through certain metamorphoses of my life and phases of my life that I learned from them over the time. And so I just want to leave you off with, I appreciate you women. I appreciate the good mothers out here. Continue to be the best teachers, the best providers, the best lovers, the best counselors, the best everything, you know, because this world, as you see, was our first expressions came from a woman. So I love y'all. Be safe. We as men, let's protect our women like the board game chess, because that's the greatest blessing that we can have as a man, is to protect our queens, is to continue to nourish our queens, because we all came from one. Peace.